Cool. Well, welcome to Pirate Utopias.
Thank you.
This
Thanks
is
for having me.
Schivona Johnson, or I know you as V.
Yeah, she the god, or
She the God. V Triple E. Stand and Rise.
VEE.
I like
VEE.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So so you run. You started a little company called Third Eye Snacks. You're also an audio engineer, beat producer, rapper, writer, poet. Hyphenate. What else? What am I leaving out? I'm
Whatever
leaving
the
something
universe needs.
Yeah.
What...
Mystic. Yeah. We got them all. So let's start off. What are we drinking here, Chris?
We got a little bit of Choupware. It's that super dark, fermented, fun stuff, good for digestion. This one's called Blue Snake.
Blue Snake.
Blue Snake.
Well, sweet. Well, yeah. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, like your background, like where you came from, and then we'll work in and start talking about what's exciting you these days.
Cool. Well, originally I was born in North Carolina, Army brat, so I moved around a lot, and my dad just ended here, so that's why I'm here in Texas. I went to college and I've studied almost everything I could and then figured out what I actually wanted to do. So it was like I studied marketing at UTSA.
Okay.
And then I went to the Art Institute of Austin. I studied sound design. And then
Yes.
from there, I kind of didn't know where I was going, and I kind of just went the corporate route and was like, I'm going to take this job because that's what I'm supposed to do, and that's what my mom said.
Yeah.
It was just like, after almost a year of doing that, it was just like, music is actually calling me. So I quit my job, came back to Austin, slept on my friend's couch for almost a year, took an internship at King Electric Recording, and like
Familiar.
just been doing audio since then, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I guess from now, let's say that was about like 5 years ago. And between that, I feel like I've had these moments in my life to where there was something that told me to go do something, or there was like just like this voice inside was like, you need to do this, just do this, don't go there, do this, do that. And that's kind of where my business, Third Eye Snacks, kind of popped up, you know? Just trying to figure out my own way through life, and also at the same time I became a vegetarian, and I was trying to figure out a way to keep my energy up. And I don't really like to drink coffee, but eating coffee was a thing that that kind of was just like, this is better for my stomach.
Right. Interesting.
So
like coffee, be like chocolate covered coffee beans and things like that.
Yeah, chocolate covered. That's exactly what like the seed is, a chocolate covered coffee beans. And from there, it kind of just figured, what is a Third Eye Snack? It's like everything that's gonna fuel my life, or whatever direction my soul wants to go. That's Third Eye Snack. So it's just like also a thing that I feel like when I'm creating from my soul. So it's like Third Eye Snack from my mind to everybody else's mind, to help you like move yourself forward. So it's, you know, Third Eye Snack, stay woke and tune into you is like the whole motto.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I also like what you're saying there, the Third Eye Snack. It's almost like, because we were talking about, you know, you were working on little videos or something, like kind of the thoughts you have while you're like meditating.
Yeah.
I was like, that could be like a Third Eye Snack, like a little snack you eat.
Yeah.
With your third eye.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's
like,
to feed your mind.
Yeah.
Snacks for your mind.
Snacks for the
Inspire.
mind.
What is it? Inspire, nourish, and awake your mind's eye. So, I feel like we all kind of can use that right now, and a lot of people are kind of just like going with the flow, and like they've quieted that voice down, and like Third Eye Snacks is to speak to that voice. It's like, I want to be on this journey with that voice that's inside of you. So, you know, choose my product and let it, you know, help you get to where you're going to go, you know? You don't have to choose me all the time, you know? There's so many different products out there, but my product is focused on that voice. I want that voice to be like, oh, I need a Third Eye Snack. This is what I like. This is the music I like. Because it was so Third Eye Snacks is like a real outlet for my creative side. You know, it can be clothing, can be music, it can be food. It's all snacks from my mind to your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like all of it. Very big into music. I did a lot of food at times. I used to cook a lot, be a chef a bit. I don't eat as often as I probably should these days. But yeah, so awesome. Tell us a little bit about some of the music stuff. So you came back to do some more. You felt the voice calling, and you fed your voice with your snacks. Yeah. And then that brought you back to Austin. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, so, well, music, listening to my voice definitely brought me back to Austin. I was like, I don't care what recording studio I work at. I'm just going to work at any, and I just so happened to, like, pick a dope studio, or the dope studio found its way to me. Yeah. And I just kind of, I've been working with Justin at King Electric for the last 5 years. Just like honing in my sound and like meeting so many other musicians. And I know in December we kind of had to shut down shop because of COVID, but on the other side, he's looking to build his own place, like on his own land. So that's the next step there. But I forgot where I was going with that.
Well, just your music.
Yeah, with the music. Yeah. Oh yeah. So meeting so many, like I felt like that was kind of like a church for me, because like coming in and hearing so many people's stories and stuff like that, it was very like inspiring. So it was just like, okay, there's another calling in there. There's something that's saying like, okay, you need to stop recording. You need to be an artist yourself. You know, since you've been writing so long, you've been recording for so long. I guess the type of music I make, I kind of started just doing hip hop, but now it's a variety of, I guess, blues, with, I guess, singer-songwriter type of feel, but really soulful, because I feel like when I'm creating, I'm feeling so many different energies at that moment, and like whatever energy it is, that's what it is, you know. And it's really hard sometimes to like pin it down to like, okay, this is hip hop or this is blues. It's just like sometimes I ask the universe, okay, what should I be writing right now? Boom, and then I get this like burst of like ideas, you know. During the pandemic, I kind of fell into like kind of a depressing moment in my life, I guess, for a lot of people. But that drove me to like, okay, what's going on? Turn your phone off. So I turned my phone off. I turned my phone off for almost a month. And I just tapped in and I wrote like 4 albums, and I started writing a book, and I was just like, whoa, what the fuck is this? You know? It's like, what is this thing that I'm in right now?
What a really long song.
Yeah. People publish it. Yeah, definitely. I was just like, whoa. So I kind of got obsessed to like how, like I got to a point where I was able to open myself up creatively again, because I feel like I was blocked because I was just like running towards the dollar like everybody else is, you know. Yeah. But during the pandemic, when I stopped and I paused, during that pause, it was just like I was really getting back to my root of how I used to write music. And it was just like, for a while I was trying to just like write music for other people, like not really from my soul. But once I kind of switched it and I kind of took a step back and I just started listening to what the universe was saying, it just started flowing a lot more. So it's just I can't say it's just hip hop or blues. It's just the songs of the universe.
That happens to be my favorite style.
Yeah. Songs made in the universe.
Yeah.
Well, because then you also started doing like house stuff as well, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. They said house is gone. I don't believe them. I love house. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like house music is gospel music sometimes.
It's straight up, yeah.
It really
That's where
is.
it came from.
Yeah, it definitely is. And like,
I've
also been trying to figure out like, okay, what is house music to the South? Like, what is that? So I've kind of been like dabbling in like, what does house music sound like in Texas? Like, what is the Texas house sound? So I've been like trying to dabble in that, trying to figure that out.
I've been here in Texas and playing with house for quite a bit, and I've never thought of that at that angle. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's super super cool. I'm gonna be thinking about this for quite some time.
Yeah.
It's got the Tejano,
Right. There's definitely some of that culture. Heck yeah.
Yeah, and it definitely has, Texas house is outside and it has subfloors outside.
Yeah, exactly. It has tactiles, baby.
Yeah, tactiles, definitely. Standing on sub speakers and feeling the music through your body, from your soul to your body to your heart to your mind. It's a beautiful thing.
It is.
Yeah, and I used to not be into house music. I wasn't really into electronic music until like really recently.
Right.
I was just like, wow, this is gospel music.
Are you more kind of like into like the minimal more style house, or like what points toward, like, what is Texas house at this point for today?
At this point today, I want to say that it's very minimal. It's not too much. It's mainly I guess lyrically kind of focused as well. I mean, I know every song is like lyrically focused, but I guess minimal and not, I guess minimal and also just speaking from, I guess, the soul, because I feel like a lot of music nowadays is just like drug party music, and to really get out there, and I guess in the aspect of me really putting my depression into words and putting that with house music kind of makes it like exciting and uplifting in a way to like get out there and show other people that we're all going through this right now. We're all going through this right now. So I guess it's like a therapeutic thing for me as well. It's just, writing about my depression and putting it to like some dance music.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
I enjoy that. It just sounds wonderful in my head. All of it.
Yeah, I mean, well, it ties back to the original, like, where house music came from, in like Chicago and Detroit, and it's like life is hard, and it's like we come here and we just vibe together. It was like it was church. It was like we come to the club and we all go to the same beat. You got the DJ putting the music on, and we're all just like vibing to the same shit, and we're working it out. Like getting these emotions, leaving them on the dance floor, and dude, I mean, or the blues, like it's like the blues. It's such an ecstatic music, but it's all the lyrical content is all just like pain and heartache and stuff, because you're exercising those demons, right?
Yeah.
The crossroads.
Yeah. I do want to shout out, actually. I got to show you. I have a couple friends. They're called Glass Slipper. And I think you'd really like what they're making, and it might give you some, like, I don't know, inspirations to bounce off of. But they're based here in Austin, and they do a really cool house thing. It's using a lot of the same kind of sounds, and one of them is a singer. I forget her name right now.
You say Glass Slipper?
Glass Slipper.
I think I might have heard of them.
Yeah, they're awesome. I forget the singer's name right now, but she's like a super house diva, big soul vocals and stuff. I think it's like like we have comrades, it's like something to build this with,
Definitely.
Like that's, I think, the next step, because it's like, what does it sound like? Well, we got to start like,
just putting it together and like being in the moment,
exactly,
really, and just have somebody hit record real quick, just
straight
capturing
up.
It really.
So having someone hit record, I vibe with you on this quite a bit. I've been an audio technician and work in production industry for a very long time, and I've been the guy to set up the stuff and press the buttons and things like that, and it's wonderful. This day and age, I'm finding that I would like to express my creativity a bit more. So I've personally taken this initiative to not be the guy that presses record. Not like I'm not going to do it. And someone would press record for the cameras that are going right here.
Hey.
Right? But aside from that, like, I think, being able to be the one on the other side of the microphone is cool. For me, it's a little scary.
Oh, no doubt.
So can you speak a little bit to that? What's the difference between being more technician and being on the creative side?
Yeah, It's actually scary, really scary being on the other side. I feel like as an engineer, you're kind of, or at least the role that I've kind of played in the past is just like, okay, I have this person on the other side, and they kind of just need a little bit of guidance to pull a little bit more out, or they need to be just directed a little bit. So it's more, okay, I see this, but not trying to put it in a box, but just kind of pull the energy out of the person. And yeah, but like you know, playing being a puppeteer, not really being a puppeteer, but okay, if I say this is gonna get this out of this person, you know.
Yes.
And like being on the other side is just like, okay, I'm gonna have to listen. I'm gonna have to trust this person, you know. I gotta let go, and that's, I feel like that's exciting though. Being on the other side, it's exciting and it's scary, because it's just like, if you go in it as an audio engineer at first, it's just like, okay, I know how to direct this person, but I don't know how to direct myself. Right. You know? Yeah.
That's real. That's very real.
Yeah. So it's eye opening, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Heck yeah. Do you find yourself getting stuck at any point? I find myself getting stuck at times, being like, okay, I'm sitting down, my levels are good. I'm like, no, I'm supposed to be playing the keys, like not like checking my levels.
Yeah.
Are there any tools that you have or things that you do for yourself? Do you get to that point? Do you get to the point where like, the mic stands are tight? No, I'm supposed to be singing into the microphone.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I guess working with last year I kind of worked on this project with one of my really good friends named Millie, and she's really kind of all over the place, but she also taught me to just sink in and let go. And ever since she told me that, that's kind of been my process when I kind of get kind of obsessed with something. It's just like, oh, I can't control it. I just have to let it go through me, you know? And I can't let it go through me if I'm doing all this stuff, you know?
That's something I needed to hear for sure.
Yeah. Because it's just like, really what I've really learned this year is just like the art of letting go. Just letting go so it can be. Because if you're trying to put it in a box, then you're not seeing outside the box. You know, you're just like right here.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know?
Viewfinder.
Yeah. And it's in the happy accident, you know? It's always in, you know, in the moment, and just not like being attached to one thing. And, you know, I guess as humans, we're all attached to this one view, this one vision of something. But it's really when you, like, let go, it's just like, oh, yeah, that happened? That's beautiful. Because he was, like, playing me a track earlier, because he was asking me some advice. And I was listening to it, I was like, yo, the vibe is right there already. just let that be, because that's the shit right there. Mm-hmm. You know?
It's like I feel like it's to set aside, because when you are the engineer, you're worried about those little details. Turn that frequency down, level that out, do that. But it's like, that's why you're there, so that the other person doesn't have to worry about any of that shit. And so it's like, now that you flip the roles, now you're the person, and it's taking on, putting on different hats. You know? Yes. Listening to something else. I think that's what's also good, is getting that like other opinion. I struggle with that, which is why I was hitting you up, you know, because it's like, you get a good vibe, it sounds good, but when you keep listening to it over and over and over, then you start to question, is this still good? Is this what I want? You know, because you're not thinking about it from the perspective of someone who's hearing it for the first time, or who doesn't know anything that went into making it. You know, they didn't hear version 2 or version 3 or version 4. Right. You know, so it's hard to step out of that, and I feel that it's good to have the another person to bounce ideas off of.
Yeah, for sure.
Very much so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You find yourself working more analog or more in the box?
Lately in the box, but this next project that I'm working on, I have a 10-track tape machine, and I kind of want to produce all the beats on my MPC. Sync with because I have like a chord bass machine, sync with that, and then like play the Rhodes. So I want to keep it really minimum and have it just, okay, I've got my beat machine, got my bass sequencer, and I got the Rhodes. And that's all I need.
There
like,
you go.
Nothing else. Nothing else.
Oh man.
That sounds productive.
Yeah.
That sounds like I could get somewhere with that.
Yeah. Because I mean, being in the box, you have so many ideas, and it's so like unlimited to where you can like end up having 75 tracks on the song.
Yeah.
I'm just like, man, do I want to mix that down? No.
All that atmosphere sounded great. Let's go ahead and take away 60 of them.
Yeah. And that's why I was kind of leaning, like I'm leaning towards doing it on the tape machine, because the tape machine is only 10 tracks long. You know, I can't go back and edit this little section. You know, and that's really why I'm doing it, so I can limit myself. Since I'm like doing both, it's like, okay, how can I limit myself and just stick to it? Okay, we'll do it on the tape machine.
Being able to commit like that, you know, committing to your stems or committing to a track on a tape, you know, especially if it's on, you know, it's all on the same piece of tape. I'm not gonna cut out that little bit.
Yeah.
You know, that's one hell of a cut.
Yeah, I admire how you're able to put constraints on yourself. Like, you're able to really do that, like whether it's through fasting or keeping to like a meditation thing, or just being like going without your phone for a month. How do you approach that? How are you able to do that? Because I struggle with that personally.
Really, I think it just comes down to it, just knowing that, I guess, coming back to just like listening to that voice, because that voice isn't gonna go away, but it's gonna soften if I listen to it. You know, it's just like just knowing that if I do this, what the outcome may be, but not actually having like a exact vision of what the outcome is gonna be. Because like for instance, when I fast, I guess I have a soft addiction to fasting, because I just love the energy, the energy that I get from fasting after 3 days. Like, I like fasting. I've gone to 7 days because I just like how my body feels, and I'm able to just have a different outlook on life, to where I know where my energy is going and I know what's sucking my energy. So like, I'll have these moments throughout a year, and to where I'm like, oh shit, I'm kind of feeling like, ugh. Like, I need to focus. I need to recenter myself, so I know where I'm going, because it's just like, you get kind of boggled down with the race, and it's kind of like you forget the overall picture. So I think it really just came down to me being like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Like, what the fuck is going on? And then okay, oh yeah, this actually fucking works. Right. So let me do this again. You know, if I need to get back to this zone, I know that if I fast for 3 days, I'm going to be able to figure this shit out. Right. You know, it's really like mind thing, that it just really cuts all the bullshit out really quickly, because you're gonna know like what the bullshit is. You're gonna be so tired from somebody sucking your energy. You're gonna know, okay, I'm not supposed to hang out with this person. You know, I'm not gonna do that. Yeah. And I guess just knowing that where my mind's gonna be at on the other side of it. I think that's what it is. But I know it's kind of hard to just say that, because I've been on the other side. Yeah. But it's just like, I feel like life is just like a laboratory. So I'm always like, you know, trying different meditations and just seeing how I feel, you know? And like, if it works, that works. It's really just testing it all out. Because like, I want to say last week I was having problems with, what was it? Just centering, coming back, and then something was like, okay, hold up. Listen to your heartbeat. Just listen to your heartbeat. And then from that, I started syncing my breath up with my heartbeat, and then all of a sudden I was like, in this centered zone where I was just like, just open. And it was like, whoa, that happened really fast. Let me write this one down. Yeah. Let me write this one down. I can share this one. I just made that one on the spot. But yeah, I think it's just like trying something once, and seeing the outcome from that, and then trying to recreate that outcome by doing other shit. Because sometimes doing the same thing all the time gets boring, at least for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah.
It just stops having the same effect. It's like I'll do a meditation for like a month. I'll be this rocks, and then after a while, it's like, man, it doesn't have the same thing. It's like I need that hit again. I need something else, you know?
Yeah. Trying different ways to get to that same point.
Right.
Yeah.
Or it's just new shit. I feel like something new problems come up, and you're like you need new tools to deal with them.
Yeah.
And be real.
Yeah, and not every tool is gonna, help with that same situation.
Yeah.
Which I'm like learning now, like just writing this book and stuff like that. So it's just like, okay, well, what other tools are there? Because not every tool is gonna work for everybody.
Right.
And then not reading a bunch of self-help books is not gonna help at all. It helps to a certain point, but then it's just like you just got to go out and figure out what your body is saying and like
how to apply that.
Yeah. Because for a while I was having trouble with my morning routines. So because I was trying to put it in this box, I was like, okay, I'm gonna make a list. I'm gonna write down these 5 things. And I'm gonna figure out how to do these 5 things, but I'm gonna let my spirit guide me. I know these 5 things gonna get done. So whatever order my spirit wants to do it, we're gonna do it, and that's how we're gonna do it. So when I kind of just took a step back and I started leading with my spirit, that kind of just made everything easier. Even in the hard moments, that just made it easier because I know where I'm leading from. I'm not leading from some outlet that's like, doing this. I'm leading from right here. Yeah.
You just check your media.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So set the goal and then let the soul, let the body choose the way to it.
Yeah.
Have you always been that way? Like, do you remember, like, when you were a kid, when you were younger, did you try these sorts of things? How did you start exploring all that stuff?
I guess it was just like me. I was having this cycle of depression, and I just really couldn't like figure out how to get out. I feel like I'm getting a little bit emotional just because I just feel like depression is like just a thing that kind of hits everybody, but in the Black community, we don't really talk about it. We don't really talk about how to get through these things, and through that's kind of like it's just like I gotta figure this out because I don't want to leave. Like, I don't want to die.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was just like that having those moments with myself, just like, I'm not trying to die. That's really what it was.
Good.
Was it, and that was like maybe through high school and stuff? You were like kind of exploring this stuff then? Or was it like
I'm
after
going to say
college?
when I came back from New Orleans.
Okay.
It's just my soul was just like, psh.
Wow.
Yeah, like, I feel like New Orleans really fucked me up really badly.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And that was because I kind of got into this habit of using Adderall.
Oh, okay.
So it was just like trying to get off Adderall and trying to see through it all and still being able to keep my energy up, to keep going. Because it's just like a lot of the medicines out there is just not helping. Not helping at all. And it was just like me trying to figure out, how can I do this without this? Like, I gotta figure this out. Because this, I'm not sleeping. This, I'm getting mad. This is, this is not helping at all. Right. Yeah. Just really trying to figure out how to pick myself up because I just didn't know how to reach out to people. I just didn't know how to be open.
Music helps.
Music helps.
It does.
Yeah, music helps.
Yeah. It can be interesting listening to yourself, being like having that quiet space and listening to the voice.
Yeah.
And then like, wow, did my voice just say that? Like I think all of these things you may not have realized that your body was saying or feeling or is trying to tell you or any of the things. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like with TV and all the things that are outside that are informing you, it's telling you not to listen to that voice. No, just take some more pills. You're depressed. Here you go.
That means 3 of these.
Yeah.
Shovel it under the rug.
Yeah, and I was definitely like trying to get off that because I know my dad when he got out of the military, he was like going through some stuff. and I knew that he was taking a lot of like medication and stuff, and I was just like, that fucking seems weirder. Like, you know, like what's going on? And then my brother went to the military as well, and he got out, and I was just like, fuck, what's going on with my brother? Oh fuck, he's taking a shit ton of pills too, you know. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I need to get off whatever I want right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Damn. So it's so good that you were able to kind of notice that and start changing yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because I know that from conversations we've had that like you've been that sort of voice to your family, you know, to kind of like be a mirror and be like, y'all don't see this, but this is what's going on. Yeah. You know, and they see you as just like the weirdo.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, well, there's Schivona over there. Yeah. Super weird, but you're like, no, y'all are the weird ones.
Yeah. And then like my sisters, they've like really completely opened up to it. And I'm just like, they'll hit me up and I'm just like, hey, just do this. Just talk to the universe. Just, you know, just ask yourself, you know, speak to the stars. And that helps. I'm not like, it helps.
So how's your family with your music?
It's all love. All love. I know originally my dad was just like, so this is up until within a year ago, when are you going to get a job? Yeah. You know? When are you going to get a job? I'm like, Dad, do you not know and understand how you undermine my soul when you do that? It's like, oh, you're saying that I don't have a job when I do have a job, you know? So, and he's finally like, oh, okay, you know, because we like go on these long conversations about who like God is and religion and stuff, and it's just like we bump heads a little bit, and then like I'll just, you know, take a step back, and then I'm like, okay, so this is what I asked him one day. I was like, so do you believe that I have to belong to religion to be like saved? And he was like, yes, that's what I believe. I was like, oh, okay. Another question. So, I found God without a religion, okay? So what about the people who are religious, who don't even know who God is? Like, what's going on right there, Dad? And then he took a pause. He was like,
Stinky.
So yeah. I love having those moments. I try not to like, you know, do it all the time because I know it's just like he likes to send me like, or send the whole family like messages. When are you guys gonna come to church with me? I'm like, Dad, I didn't find God in a church, you know. Right. You know what I'm saying? And like, asking us all the time to go to church with you is not going to make us find God or make any of the other our siblings or my sisters and brothers find God. It just happens.
Right.
It just happens, and you just got to let it happen. Because in July I started writing a book, and I kind of got back on it like 2 months ago. And he's been telling me, you need to read the Bible. You need to read the Bible. And I'm like, nah. Dude, God told me not to read the Bible yet. I need to finish my book first. And then that's when the universe said I should read the Bible. You know?
Nice. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I get a lot of similar things on my side. My dad always sent Bible verses and stuff like that. I've actually been like I haven't started rereading it yet, but I've been hearing some interesting things about the Bible. Are you familiar with Neville Goddard? No. Have you heard of him?
Nuh-uh.
He's cool. He's like
familiar.
He's like early New Thought, early like manifestation kind of stuff, law of attraction kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But his whole theory is that and he's old. He's long dead. But like he said that every time that they talk about God in the Bible, they're actually talking about your imagination. And that, like, your imagination is God. Your power to bring reality in.
It makes sense, man.
It's cool, because, like, I grew up, you know, Southern Baptist, always listening to preachers and all this stuff. And it's funny to hear someone quote scripture, quote the Bible, but it's not. And so unto him he said this, and therefore we need to live right and stop being sinners and stop, whatever, doing da 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 da. But more like, no, this is how you live a free life. And it's stuff that feels like, this is cool and liberating.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah. But I'm curious, because you perked up, what have you been hearing?
Well, I think I perked up because, what was it? Damn. There was like a lot of people, we all go through trauma and stuff, and like I've been like really trying to work on that, especially like with my dad. And when I try to like bring up situations from my childhood, he'll like go to the Bible. The Bible says this, the Bible says this, and I'm like, Dad, we're not in the Bible. We're not in the Bible. Me and you are not in the Bible. We're in this moment, And this is when I was just trying to like explain to him how, like just like the abuse, like growing up, how that's kind of shifted my reality a little bit. And I wasn't like mad at him about it anymore. I just wanted to talk about it so he could like understand like how it was actually kind of affecting me as growing up, because he was just like very like stern and he'd get mad and basically, like, as I grew up, I was really scared of confrontation because of that. I was like scared. I was scared to stand up for myself because of that. And like now, when I try to have those conversations, or when I used to have those conversations with him, he'd be like scared because it was still a soft moment for him. And it was really hard for him to open up about that because he was still feeling shame. And I was just like trying to say, I'm like, no, Dad, you don't have to be shame about it. Like, we forgive you, and every once in a while he'll like send like the whole family messages, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, Dad, we're over that. Like, Dad, we're good, it's okay,
we're still here.
Yeah.
Still here.
Yeah. But yeah, I totally forgot why I got on that rant. We were talking about the Bible.
I'm just reinterpreting it, but that's important, it's like, I mean, I think it's so cool. I think we were talking about this the other day about how like you can, in here, in this moment, you can rewrite the past. It's like you revisit it by reinterpreting the things that happened to you with a new perspective.
Yeah.
And I think that's interesting, is because you were talking about that too, just like how you, especially through writing the book, that you're you're revisiting a lot of moments in your past, and you're able to bring a new, perspective. Why don't you talk about that a little bit? Just kind of like new things you've been reinterpreting as you're revisiting them through writing your book.
I guess my book, I don't know if this is the title yet, but my book is called Casting Spells, A Guide to Higher You.
Nice.
I think that's, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll read it.
But basically, I kind of go back and I talk about speaking things into existence. There are these like different moments in my life where I like distinctly remember saying and doing something, and then like something happens. I didn't remember in that moment, but looking back, I'm like, shit, yeah, I did that there. And I did that there, and I did that there. Like, for an example, like when I quit my job, I was just like, I don't care what the fuck I do. I'm going to work at a studio, and I'll be an intern. Like, that's what I'm going to do. As soon as I came back, I got on Craigslist, and, like, the third person I sent something to was just, like, this crazy, incredible studio. And I'm like, oh, shit, this is where it started, or what I can remember, like, speaking things into existence, you know? Mm-hmm. So it's just, like, that's a portion of me just, like I do that a couple times in my book. I'm like, hey, okay, another time, for a minute I didn't have a car. Mm-hmm. And I was working on a particular project where we had to get around a lot. And my friend, she had a car. And, like, I don't know, something in me was like, something weird's going to happen. And then the guy, Justin, he's a studio owner, he sold his car, but then he got it back. And I saw it at the studio, and I was like, for some reason, I'm getting that car, but I don't know why. he's gonna give it to me. I just had that feeling. It's like, he's gonna give it to me. And then, long story short, the girl's car that we were using a lot, she wrecked her car. And it just so happened to get that fucking car like a couple days before it happened. So I'm like, holy shit, okay, this is another moment where I was just like tapped into myself, and myself was just like, yes, that's my car. I owned it already before I even have it. And I feel like a lot of life is like that. You just kind of gotta use your imagination and just put it out there and just visualize it and know, and then it just happens. It just happens. So a lot of my book is about just, you know, reflecting, looking at the moments and seeing those moments and how you can use those moments to manifest your future.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Yeah, just viewing the goal. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it makes you wonder. I mean, like now that I've had, had a lot of things happen to me this year, changing my perspective, and it kind of got me thinking about like how rarely, especially looking back at some of the worst parts of my life, how rarely I actually tried to imagine what the life I wanted to live would be like.
Yeah.
What does it look like? What does it feel like? What do I wake up doing? Like, what is that thing actually feeling like? It's like you just even reaching out and just kind of like, I think what's helped me this year has been like in a sense of play. Like when you were a kid, you used to just imagine all sorts of stuff. Like, what would it be like if trees, or you're in the car. I would imagine, what if there was a guy who was running next to me like as fast as I, little dumb things like that. And it's like we totally lose that as we get older. It's like, no, only think about what can actually happen. And it's like, you don't know what can actually happen.
Yeah, dude, yeah, you're totally right. And like going back to like songwriting, when I first like started writing poetry and writing songs, I'd write to like sometimes videos that were like in my head. I'm like, I'm just writing the song, I'm like, oh shit, this is happening next. Oh, okay. And then as I got older, I kind of forgot that's how I create, that's how it's wrote, just because, I got bogged down with like stress and stuff like that. And it's just like beautiful. Like your imagination, I feel like as you get older, is so important. It's so important.
I've been thinking about like, especially in this time, and like it seems like everywhere you look, people are just kind of like, the world is fucked. We're society, we're all screwed. Everything's going down the shitter, and especially with I see this a lot with people who are like in activism and stuff, about like they just kind of see the problems, but you rarely see people talk about what does the solution look like, especially in the case, and I agree with them. I think that white supremacy, and the system, there's systemic racism and stuff like, I believe it's there. But what I don't see a lot is people actually imagining, what does society look like when it's not there? It's just all they want to do is point fingers. And I think, it's good. I think that's the phase. But I think I heard a guy, this guy Mitch Horowitz, he wrote a whole history about occultism in America. And he's how I found out about Neville Goddard. But he talks about Marcus Garvey was really into that. Marcus Garvey and MLK both had this sense of like, we have to imagine that. MLK's whole thing was, I have a dream. He spelled it out. This is what it looks like, at least to him. But it's like, that's what we need to be channeling. It's like, we need to be channeling not his vision, but imagining our vision. Like following like that,
Speaking of dreams, I had a dream and I woke up in this dimension, and what woke me up was like the news saying the United States has elected its 5th black president. I woke up and I was like, what? Okay. That's cool. What year is this?
Sleep for a little bit.
2023? It goes real crazy. No, but that's cool. That's super cool. That's so inspiring, to hear a lot of that kind of stuff, I think what's also big that I learned from you is just about letting go of the attachment. Like you're saying earlier about like playing with it, you know, where it's like not being so attached to the outcome. Life is a lab.
Yeah.
Like it's all
Yeah.
experiments.
Yeah.
I totally lose that. What are ways that you keep yourself in there when you catch yourself maybe taking life too seriously?
I guess one of the things that I do every day is I get up and write for 30 minutes. It's just like a free write. And that's kind of like how I navigate my thoughts from like other things that are beyond my control. And just from that, I feel like I've been able to hear my voice stronger. What was the question again?
Well, it was well, when you start taking, you know, maybe you're experimenting with something, you start taking it too seriously. How do you get yourself back and like, no, this is just an experiment. Just see what happens.
Okay. I guess when I'm in my writing period, I'm able to like kind of like, it's always in like reflection. Like I'm always like, I feel like half the day I'm reflecting. Yeah. Not gonna lie. I feel that. And it's just like, okay, so what's going on right now? Like, okay, I've seen this before. It's okay. Oh, this is a pattern. Oh, that's what it is. I find the pattern. What is this? Is this another pattern that is popping up? It's me finding the patterns throughout my day. That's what reminds me that this is an experiment. It's the patterns.
I see.
Yeah. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah.
Like, yeah, so you find the pattern, and then you...
and I recognize, and it kind of just, that's just a pattern. Okay. That reminds me that this is just this is like an experiment.
Right.
You know, I just recognized this pattern, and I jumped over it. I'm not about to do that again.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, this is a pattern. Oh, I can use this pattern to propel me forward.
Right.
Because it's just like, you know, time is an illusion. It's just like a bunch of loops inside of loops, you know? And then we have a bunch of loops within ourselves, and we have loops that get shifted when we have certain people around us, you know? And, like, just getting up, writing every morning, I'm able to, like, recognize that through my daytime. Yeah.
Wait, do you write as soon as you wake up? Is there, like, is there an alone time or, like, some sort of separation from, dare I say, the outside world? You know, you open your eyes and you can... That's the outside world instantly. But, like, do you write more as soon as you wake up? Or do you, like, maybe eat breakfast or do something and then write? Or is it not as closed form as all of that? Just kind of how, whatever?
Well, most of the time, let's say, I get up and I'll do meditation. And right after a meditation, I'll go right into writing. Because I don't want outside forces to influence my writing. And that's why I write as soon as I get up. But after that, I've noticed within my writing that I wasn't giving myself enough time to write every morning. So now, like, I'll do like a daytime writing session, you know.
Right. Extending practice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Interesting.
Yeah. Morning practices. I am getting better at my morning practice.
Yeah, I mean, it takes time and just, like, understanding, like, sometimes, like, I'll have these goals. I'm like, okay, so at least 4 times this week, I'm going to get up at 5. It doesn't matter what day. It does not matter what day. I'm going to get up at 5. And I'm decide the night before, okay, this is the day I'm going to get up at 5.
Right.
For some reason, like, if I try to, like, structure it too much, for some reason, I can't do it. I got to have some type of flow to where, okay, I know I need to do this week. You know, and before I go to bed, I'll have like a little reflection, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get up at 5 tomorrow because I need to do all this stuff. Right. But having it like 5 o'clock every day, it's just like I'm gonna fail.
Yeah.
It's just like how do you set yourself up not to fail? And even in those failures, they're not really failures. It's just like, okay, just reflect and be like, okay, I'm not going to do this again.
Right.
You know? Right. And like try, and not beating yourself up, because that was another thing I kind of had to like reprogram in my mind is beating myself up, you know? That's a thing.
Oh, yeah. I'm very familiar. If it didn't hurt so bad, I'd leave marks, you know.
I got a special jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
How have you gotten over like beating yourself up? Is it kind of a similar process?
I guess I've kind of gotten over that by I guess I kind of have like a hermit trait a little bit, and it wasn't real until I kind of just like pulled myself back. I know not everybody has the ability to just take time away, but I do that. Like once I took time away, I kind of realized, okay, I don't have anybody around me. What's going on in my mind? Like,
right.
Like, okay, this is self-inflicted.
Yeah.
And it's really just pausing, like reflecting and pausing. Even like you don't have to do it every day. Like I do it every day, but it's just find out what works for you and pause, reflect, and see like what is the root of those negative thoughts. Sometimes it's getting on my phone, getting on social media. That's a trigger for my when I like how I beat myself up sometimes because I'm like looking at everybody else's reality and I'm like, oh, I see what they're doing. Ah, you're not there yet. Why aren't you there? I'm like, oh, fuck. If I get off the internet, I don't feel that way. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Quieting, having the quieter platform.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm on, the social medias and stuff, I'm like, oh, that looks really cool. And sometimes I'm like, oh, maybe I could do that. And then like 3 more scrolls later, I'm like, why am I not doing that?
Yeah.
That looks really cool, and they've got 20 million likes. Why didn't I do that?
Yeah.
Tomorrow I'm waking up at 5 a.m. and I'm doing that.
Yeah.
As if that's the end goal.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly.
That, oh, I just want the 1 million likes,
Exactly. Yeah. So looking at the end goal. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Understanding that, clarity. Sometimes that changes too.
Yeah.
Well, because that's something that I've been thinking about. Because it's like as I, with COVID, I'm like, I'm gonna legit treat music, like making music, as like what would it be like if my job every day was make up and make some music or whatever, make music, make beats, audio or something, and so that kind of kept going, and it made me start realizing like I've had this dream of being a musician and all this stuff and making all my money from that for so long, and I never once imagined what it actually looked like.
Yeah.
What it's just so funny, and even now, a lot of times I've been noticing a lot of where my desire to make music comes from when I hear a song and it's just like I'm really impressed by it. I'm like, wow, this is really cool. And then it's this, I noticed this internal, like, I wish I made that. Like, I want to make something like this. I want to, and it's a weird longing. And I've only started to be like, call myself out on it and be like, maybe that's not the place I should be making music from,
Yeah.
Instead of, it's caused some weird thoughts about, like, is music even what I should be doing? Like, is this, because I never wanted to, like, admit to be one of those guys, like, I was in a band, like, back in the day, it's too hard, I don't want to be like that, know.
Did you work for Metallica?
Yeah. Yeah, no, and that's the fear. It's like, I don't want to be one of those, like, sound guys, we all know. The sound guy is like, well, you just did that because you couldn't make it as a musician,
Yeah.
I mean, we all know that, but...
Yeah.
I'm in that spot. I'm exactly in that spot. I completely understand.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't, like, I don't, it's no judgment, we've all been sound people, and a lot of the people who are sound people are also musicians on the side, or engineers, same thing. And I think that there are definitely people who they thrive, and that's what they're there for.
Yeah.
But, and that's always kind of the fear of, is music not my thing? Am I just one of those people who couldn't make it? And they're like, But it's also just like, well, what would happen if I change and just... Because it's like letting go of that story. Like, it could be that being a sound engineer is what you really want to do, or being a event production or whatever. That actually is your calling, because there are people who that is.
Yeah.
But it's like, and that's where it started, like, this podcast, it's like, intro music I made, but like other than that, this is like totally not music. And I started to think about, there's all these things that aren't music that I do.
Yeah.
And I look at some of these other people, musicians, that's all they do.
Yeah.
And it's all they want to do. They wake up and they just think about, I gotta make some more beat. Jay Dilla.
Yeah.
Just sit there and make beats all day. I'm like, I love making beats, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to do it all day. I like to read books. I like to talk, other things.
Walk outside.
Totally.
Exactly.
Yeah. And also, like, changing your perspective of like, what successful is.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You know? And to speak on the other point about, like, hearing other people and then asking within yourself. Like, like, during the summertime, I was, like, listening to Kendrick, and I just, like, heard, like, this tone in his voice, and I was just like, that's a God voice. Like, that... I recognize that. That's me.
Yeah.
You know? That totally is me. But I don't need to be like Kendrick.
No.
I have my own God voice. You know? I need to start using it.
Yeah.
You know?
That's so big. I feel like I had a really rough day. And so what you're... Like, a week ago. And what you're saying really connects to me is because it's like... That was like... Almost like a voice. But it was telling me like... You have too much inputs. You have too many voices, too many YouTube videos, too many podcasts, all this shit. You need to go back, and I'm still, it's like struggling, because I had that fear. But you need to go back to doing an hour of meditation a day. Just like, shut up and listen. Just listen to you. Because it's like, yeah, you can hear all the things, but, it's like, the people like Kendrick or whoever we idolize, who we hear the stuff, a lot of times it's like they were doing something and they didn't know what they were doing. They were
correct.
They were just
in the flow
out of it. They were listening to that, and out of that came some shit that no one had ever thought or done before.
Yeah.
And it's like you have that too, but you need to stop trying to be them. You stop trying to be this image that you think you have of what success looks like. And just, it comes back to, like, with imagination. I think that was another thing, is it's like learning how to imagine correctly. Like,
because knowing your power.
Yeah.
It really, that's a thing. Like, you can, like, do so much shit, but if you understand your power and you have direction, you fucking get there, and it's just like, you feel like a musician. Like, I just feel like I'm doing magic all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is this shit? Is this really happening? Well, yes, this is happening.
I think also it's like, when you imagine, you have to leave room for shit you didn't expect. That's like, that's some, like, I'll just sit there, like, while I'm meditating, and, I started to move away from just straight up and be mindful. But, like, what if I just imagine? I'm going to imagine my album I'm working on. I'm going to imagine this project or whatever I'm doing. And I'm just going to play. Like, play in my mind. Because I think I got too attached to, like, imagining it going perfectly and this and that and that and that, doing all that shit. But it's like, then it just ends up exactly like the textbook, like, way that it should. And it's like, what if I just... Okay, well, you're like, it's like you're playing. Like, you're playing with two figures and bam, 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 and it just but then this guy flew in, that guy, and it's just like, now I'm imagining shit that's kind of a cool idea. What if that happened, or what if this was the way it worked out? Like,
definitely.
It's like crazy, but
I definitely like do that with like Third Eye Snacks, like on like a small level, then kind of like on a big level. It's like one of my things that I picture in my head during meditation is that I'm just like talking to people and handing my product to people. Like, that's all it is. Because that can happen anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It doesn't need to just happen there. That's movable. That's workable. Yeah. But then there's also the aspect of, like, because I like DJing, there's like the aspect of being at the club and I'm like, she the God! Yeah. So I'm like, hey, I fucking both of those. Yeah.
That's awesome.
What about you, Chris? You imagine shit?
I imagine a lot. I imagine that I imagine. Yes, actually, I do. I use my brain pretty. I guess that's the way. One of the ways I can paint. I can paint with audio.
Yeah.
I still can't really draw my name right. They call it writing, right? If you've seen any of the teabag labels, it's probably my writing. It's not that great. But I imagine a lot. I use a technique in open communication, something that I picked up from authentic relating style community and like circling style community. Some of the cats that I've talked to in this community will use ways of communication that uses something called IFN, imagine, feel, and notice. Right? When I'm sharing about what I'm thinking about, I can say, I imagine this. And, no one can, semantically at least, no one can be like, no, you don't imagine that. Whatever. I imagine this. And another one is, I feel this. They can be like, you don't feel that, but that's not qualified, Or maybe it is, but not to me at that point. And I notice this. So I find in this practice of using IFN that I imagine a lot more than I imagined that I did. Because I'm finding myself saying, I'm imagining this. And instead of just being like, oh, that happened, like I outwardly say it. So, yeah, I imagine a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do imagine a whole lot.
I think it's funny because what you were saying too, I imagine myself imagining. That's been another big thing for me is because you see, it's really easy, like especially if you want to do something like, I want to have a morning routine or something. It's almost like you have to first imagine that you are a person who has a morning routine.
Yeah.
Or it's like however far back you need to go, like start with just being, I'm imagining what I would be like if I imagined things into existence. What would my life be like? It just always, because it's like, I think a lot of people, they're just like, especially when it comes to morning routines. It's like, what I do is I do this every morning. And some people are like, I barely wake up. I'm getting out of bed 5 minutes before I need to be where I need to be.
Yeah.
I don't even have time. Like, if I could just get 15 minutes, whatever.
Yeah.
Brush my teeth in the morning or something. It's like, start there. Just, if any time you got, just imagine what it's like. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You just imagine beating you out of bed?
Yeah, well, there's certain things that wake me up like nothing. Most of the time it's not my own, like, hey, I think I want to get up at this time. Most of the time I'm like, oh, I have time to do this other thing. I'm going to sleep.
Yeah.
Coming from service industry of restaurants and clubs and shows and whatnot.
And event production, especially. The hours are like, God.
We finally packed up at 4 a.m., everything got put on the truck, and by, 7, 8 a.m., we're building the show again.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
So I wake up when the music stops. That's my thing. At festivals, like I can sleep under a stage.
Yeah.
Like, how do you do that? Like, I couldn't sleep. I'm like, well, I wake up when the music stops. That's when I...
Yeah.
If I'm on a bus or, in the hotel, not as much in the hotel, but the tour bus or whatever, that one's an easy one. Like, stop. Like, oh, no, we're here. Where's my radio? All that kind of stuff. But otherwise, I don't know. I don't, if there's not like a ticket machine printing, like, here's all the tickets. Put the food in the window. Or like, hey Chris, get your kabuki off the stage so we can build the rest of the show or something. I don't wake up unless it's one of those things.
Yeah.
And I'm imagining myself being able to do that better.
And I think there's also something too that I've been rethinking is like, you hear from a lot of people, but not everyone needs that kind of routine. Some people really wake up at a different time every day. Obviously, to a certain extent of what's healthy and what's not. But like, I think it's also not beating yourself up if you don't land the right way.
Yeah.
Because there are things. It's like I always would read this stuff, about how to, morning routines and the power of this and all that stuff. But it's like when you work event production, it's like, okay, today my job's at 4, but tomorrow my job's at 6 a.m. and the next day it's at like 8. So you're just constantly having this variable schedule. It's so hard to like commit to, this is my schedule. I wake up, I meditate and do this, do that. Because, tomorrow I'm not going to, I got to be at work at 6. Means I got to wake up at 4 and do all this stuff.
Yeah.
Crazy. But I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Some people just thrive on that too, I don't know. To each their own, I guess.
Yeah. Levels of excitement.
Yeah, right.
Whatever gets the blood flowing, I guess.
Get up! Get out of bed!
Mm-hmm.
Wake up! Put on a little makeup!
Taking care of grandmother. Took care of my grandmother for several years when I was younger. And that was another like one of those. I'll wake up if like I hear Russell and like in my dream state I'm like, Grandma's waking up, get up now. Like, oh, everything's fine, it's cool. Like, okay, now I can't sleep.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, this has been an awesome conversation.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna have to get you back on when your book comes out
Yeah.
or when you launch some stuff. Like we're gonna be following. Why don't you let people know where they can like follow your stuff, see what you're doing, stay up to date.
All right, so you can find me at She the God. That's SCHITHI or THE God, and then you can follow my snack company. It's at Third Eye Snacks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dope.
I like it.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Keep on imagining.
Yeah.